Python subprocess / Popen with a modified environment. I believe that running an external command with a slightly modified environment is a very common case. That's how I tend to do it. I've got a gut feeling that there's a better way. Does it look all right?
I think os.environ.copy is better if you don't intend to modify the os.environ for the current process.
That depends on what the issue is. If it's to clone and modify the environment, one solution could be. But that somewhat depends on that the replaced variables are valid Python identifiers, which they most often are. How often do you run into environment variable names that are not alphanumeric +_ or variables that starts with a number? Otherwise you could write something like in the very odd case, how often do you use control codes or non-ASCII characters in environment variable names, that the keys of the environment are bytes? You can't, on Python 3, even use that construct. As you can see, the techniques, especially the first, used here benefits on the keys of the environment normally as valid Python identifiers, and also known in advance, at coding time. The second approach has issues. In cases where that isn't the case, you should probably look for another approach.
With Python 3.5 you could do it this way. Here we end up with a copy of os.environ and overridden path value. It was made possible by PEP 448, additional unpacking generalizations. Another example. If you have a default environment, i.e. os.environ, and a dict you want to override defaults with, you can express it like this.
You might use my_env.get path instead of my_env path in case path somehow not defined in the original environment, but other than that it looks fine.
To temporarily set an environment variable without having to copy the os.environ object, etc., I do this.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.